What's up, YouTube? It's one way. Thought I'd go live for a minute, seeing what's going on. What's everybody doing in the YouTube streets? I've been hearing a lot of chatter lately. Just thought I'd tap in. It's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. Shout out to everybody still doing their thing. I'm on my way to San Ho right now. It's early bird time right now. Sun's shining though. So how's everybody doing today, Saturday? I think it's like the first weekend of the month. I don't know if anyone's been catching. Shout out to Real Life TV and his other channels. I don't know if you've been catching them lives. Twins, back at it. That's one thing I want to talk to is the twins. I don't know why you guys got so much hate. You guys be switching up so much. That's you guys' problem. You guys are trying to rely on someone else's opinions. I mean, if you got issues with people that are speaking what they're saying, don't be start attacking the people in the chat like me and who else, boxing class. There's a few of us. All of a sudden, if you don't like the situation, you start attacking the people in the chat and stuff like that. That's kind of weird. I mean, it ain't our fault that we know the history and we know what's up. You know what I'm saying? We done see you guys do what you guys do already for a while. It always turns out the same way. And you guys need to stop talking about other people, about how they support other people when you guys over there always got other people in your mouth and shit, like rappers. And look at Mob, for example. He's over there wearing trap flicks and shit. talking shit about other people, talking about having people on their shoulders and this and that. But look at him. While he's talking like that, he's wearing a Traflix sweater. So I think that's the problem with these guys. They're depending too much on someone else to think that that's going to be their come up. But if you haven't seen it by now, if you old by now, you realize that other people ain't gonna be lifting you up and shit, helping you out. Then you gotta realize you just gotta do that shit on your own. It don't matter who you know and this and that, and you know what I'm saying. It don't matter if you know the most famous rapper and shit. I could be like, oh, I know Burner, this and that. But what does that know? What does that help me? What does that do for me? It doesn't mean that all of a sudden I got all kinds of money and you know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem with you guys or people in general. They be highlighting all these people that, it's cool to give them shout outs and stuff like that and support and stuff like that, but to be talking and act like you part of it or something, I don't know. It's just kind of odd to me. Just like, it's kind of weird. You should be able to make a name for yourself, you know what I mean? And show the people that you can stand on your own. I mean, if you're still out here talking, living in your car, and shit like that, and still talking about other people about how they're living, then you might want to check yourself. This ain't about no hate or nothing like that either, because we all come from the same struggles and shit. It's just a little bit of insecurity and stuff like that. I think when you've been having bad hands your whole life, it kind of reflects later on. You can see it, you can hear it. A lot of us come from the struggle. A lot of us didn't have parents and stuff at a young age, on our own, solo dolo out here. So that ain't no excuse for people to be acting ill and snake-like and shit. You know what I'm saying? I've always told people, it always takes a weak, stupid person to turn up and get mad because, it takes a lot to have self-control, to be able to control your anger and shit like that. A lot of people can't deal with it. They're snapping. They've got evil intentions. So that's another thing about people, when it comes to religion and stuff like that. Religion ain't something that you can be fooling with. You know what I'm saying? You can be up here playing the part, but what you guys fail to understand is that the true God really knows your intentions and what you're thinking all the time. So you might be lying to the people out here and stuff like that, and you might be playing the part and shit. But if you're in the back talking shit in your mind, but in smiling in people's faces and shit, you ain't getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that God always sees. Yeah, you get away with it with the people that you can fool. But when it comes to God, God's about the truth and stuff like that. So you ain't out here keeping it 100. You're out here with evil fucking thoughts, evil intentions. Yet you want to speak righteously. You kind of got shit twisted. I'm saying about being perfect and square-like and goody two-shoe and stuff like that. But I'm saying, what you about these days? When you're young and stuff like that, shit goes down. The decisions you make are different. But as you get older, if you're still in the same situation, still doing the same shit, thinking the same way, caught up in the same beefs and quarrels and stuff like that, you gotta wonder, maybe you ain't maturing up out of that thought process. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I'm just different. I've never been the type to idolize people and look up to stars and stuff like that. I've always just seen everybody as people. I think that's the problem with a lot of these people out here. And even when it comes to that race card, I've seen a lot of people out here, back to that race card. See, what they don't fail to understand is that, when you're born in this world, you ain't got no decision who you are, whether you're finna be Hispanic, black, Asian, fucking Jewish, whatever. And you just gotta live with it. And you know what I'm saying? And if your mind is mature enough and you're smart enough to realize that the race card don't make who you are and shit. It's who you are as a person. I know hella fucked up people in all races, and I know good people in all races. So I've never been the type to put anything on any race or have one person represent any race or nothing like that. That's how a lot of these closed-minded people out here get shit twisted. Because like for example, see a fucking pit bull video mauling somebody, and they get the impression every fucking pit bull's all fucked up like that. But that ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? That's just one pit bull out of millions of pit bulls out there. Same thing when it comes to race. To me, in this world, I mean, if you're somebody and you trying to shine and be this and that, then you should be able to rise up above that race card. Like for example, there's people out there that just excelled. You don't even think about their race. All you think about is their accomplishments and what they can do and stuff like that. I think playing the race card is like playing victim forever. That would be like me, for example, talking about how my folks were tossed in concentration camps, how there was, a lot of hate towards my folks. I don't out here play that victim and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't forget it, like it, but you don't live your life acting like that's what represents you. You gotta live, you know, feeling some type of way, or reflecting your life based on that. That's another thing about them twins and shit. You can't be talking about other people when you're living pretty much homeless in your vehicles. talking about what people are gonna give you on YouTube and shit like that, support. You know, to me, there's different kind of people in this world. There's people that work for their stuff and will accept tips and stuff like that, of course. But then there's people out there that just sit there and beg and bum, and that's what they expect. They expect to live off that shit. They expect, you know what I mean, to give the sad puppy face, and hopefully that somebody will help them out. It's easy to put yourself in a shitty situation and then play the part like you're down and out, and ask people for fucking help. I ain't got nothing against people that help people like that, and I ain't talking bad about people that really need help. But I'm talking about people that are able and willing, and if they're talking, you should be able to have the means to stand up. This world don't accept, excuses and shit like that. I tell a lot of people, you can't undo shit. You can't. A lot of shit out here you can't undo, and you can't accept the bullshit. Another thing is you gotta be realistic with shit. Example, I always I get caught up in situations. For example, I was like I always tell my girl, imagine you just kicking it back by the pool, and you just get done cleaning your fucking pool, and you're looking at it, and you're chilling on your lawn chair, and it's all sparkly clean, and then out of nowhere, someone comes and kicks a pot over full of dirt into your pool. Next thing you know, you got a pool full of dirt and mud, and there you are out there upset. You what people fail to realize is that so being upset over something like that is kind of natural. But the bullshit, kicking the pot over is something that ain't natural. That's something that's you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Getting upset is what you choose to do also, but someone serving you some bullshit might have a reason. That's like life. I mean, you can't be the one out here kicking fucking pots into people's pools and shit when they're chilling. And you can't play victim and that motherfucker turn up on you. I was just checking my algorithm. I don't think my algorithm's popping right now. Shout out to everybody out there in the YouTube streets. Just thought I'd tap in. See what's up. I don't even know if I'm live. I got my shit going to my damn room right here. So everybody have a good one. Stay blessed. Peace out.